Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking through to watch this video. I'm so excited about having you on the channel and about introducing this new series that I'm doing, Heart Lessons. I'm going to be talking about things that will help you change your heart so that you can walk through life happier, healthier, and so that you can achieve your purpose that God has destined for you. So, since the beginning of the year, I've kind of had some issues and some troubles and like some setbacks as it comes to blogging and vlogging for that matter. Just the content wasn't really coming to me. And then if content came to me, I always felt like it was a topic that I wasn't ready to talk about or I didn't feel comfortable talking about. Secondly, I felt like I was going through some issues with my setup. As you can see, I've kind of been playing with my background, and no background that I've done on my channel has been the same. And I've actually feel like I might, now that I think about it, have been comparing myself to other bloggers and their awesome channels. So today I decided to set up my camera and vlog because I hadn't put out anything new. I had no idea what I was going to talk about, but I felt like it was time. I tried to come up with a new background. I was basically set up all around my room, all around my living room, just trying to create an atmosphere that I thought was gonna look really pretty and look really sophisticated. Also something that I could use over and over again, even for some different things that I have going on. I was all around my room and I just didn't like anything. I didn't like the setup, I didn't like how it looked. It just wasn't working for me. Eventually I said, you know what, I'm going to set up something that I think looks, you know, decent enough and stop being so hard on myself and just focus on the content, because at this point I still had no idea what I was going to talk about. It was just put in my spirit that I should talk about perfection. I feel like one of the things that's been hindering me from recording and putting out content is the fact that I felt like I had to have the perfect atmosphere, the perfect setup, and that's not the case. That's not what God is looking for. He's looking for obedience. And obedience is doing whatever He says to do, no matter the circumstance, no matter what it looks like. If we look at Exodus, we see Moses, who was destined to take all of these wonderful Israelites into the promised land and out of Egypt. And what we do see is a lot of rejection on Moses' part because he felt like he wasn't qualified. He felt like the circumstances weren't perfect for him in order to be able to go forward and do what God had called him to do. You see that God definitely got a little bit angry and even called in his brother to help him along. So after they got into the wilderness, God told Moses to tell the Israelites that he wanted them to follow his commandments. Exodus 19:5, which says, "Now, if you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then out of all nations you will be treasured possession, although the whole earth is mine." You know, even though there's so many wonderful things in this world, like God could create anything of treasure, but we are his most prized possession because we obey him, because we do his will. It's not saying that we're perfect. It's not saying that we do everything right, but obedience is what he's looking for. On the same wavelength, God sent his only son, Jesus, to the earth to give us the perfect example of how to live in obedience. And even though all of the situations that Jesus was put through from birth to death weren't ideal, he still made sure that he kept God's command. Even when he was about to be put on the cross, he said, "Not my will, but your will be done." So we have to think about the things that we're internalizing about our situations and about what God has called us to do. It can be the biggest thing or it can be the littlest thing, as setting up to film a vlog. Things don't have to be perfect. Things just have to be according to his will. And those are two totally different things. So I encourage you, if you're struggling with perfection and the idea of that things around you have to be perfect, your best is more than enough. Especially if you're being obedient and you're doing exactly what God called you to do. Obedience is better than perfection. Write down some things that you've been harboring or things that you've been procrastinating about, you might figure out that you're kind of like me, waiting and putting things off because you're hoping and nothing seems perfect. And what you'll realize is the more you strive for perfection, the longer it takes for you to actually get in and do what God has asked you to do. So moving forward, let's make a vow that we'll always do what God has asked us to do and worry about the rest later. All right? So like I said at the beginning of this video, this is the first episode of the new series, Heart Lessons. You've probably also seen that I'll be introducing Testimony Tuesdays in March, where I'm going to be telling my testimony and some other people's testimonies about how they've overcome obstacles in their lives, overcome sin in their lives in order to be who God calls them to be. I can't wait to share with you guys. I am a little nervous, I'm going to admit, because there's definitely going to be some nitty-gritty stuff discussed there. Always leave your comments, your concerns, and your questions. I want to know what you're struggling with, because I might be struggling with the same thing, and we're all on this Christian walk together. We're all trying to get into heaven, so let's do it. Make sure to follow me on social media at Danielle Writes It, and email me if you have any content or anything that you want to discuss at daniellewritesit@gmail.com. So until next time, stay encouraged and stay persistent, and remember that God is calling you to obedience, not perfection.